or Jana? I
Jana.
know your name, Jana.
Okay, you guys. Well, everybody's muted out but me and you, Connie. And so we are live on YouTube. I'm going to turn my volume down over here. Oh, it already is. Okay, perfect. Okay, so you guys, I am so thrilled. I mean, like seriously excited to introduce to y'all to my good friend, Connie Miller, who's going to be our guest speaker tonight. But before I do want to say this, just a couple little short announcements. Number one is Tuesday is a big fat day in Mary Kay. Tuesday is our Star Consultant second quarter ending. So some of you are on target to be a 4-quarter star. You don't want to miss this one. So the 15th is the last day of the quarter. You want to get those in. And if maybe you already are a star, look and see what you have in, because you may be like $100 away from the next level, which is a better prize. Okay. And then you might also check with anyone you've recruited, and maybe they're close to being Great Start qualified. That could pop you up another 600 points. Okay. So anyway, that's a big deal in Mary Kay. Don't let that slip up on you. The 15th is the end of the star quarter. Okay. I just wanted to make that quick announcement. So this is Cleta the Cheetah. And I am so happy to be here tonight. It is December the 13th, 2020. And let me introduce to you this beautiful woman that is going to be speaking for us tonight. I'm going to read her accolades to you, and then I'll tell you what I think about her, which is, she's pretty amazing. Okay. So Connie Miller, after watching her mom earn many free cars and earn a 6-figure income for several years with Mary Kay, Connie decided to join this company in 1990. During that time, she was working full-time in a restaurant. She's earned 7 gold medals. She has been a star consultant, like we were talking about, 90 quarters. Connie earned her first free car in 1994 while working her Mary Kay business only 10 to 15 hours a week. She is currently driving her 11th free car, earned in Mary Kay, a 2020 pink XT5 Cadillac valued at over $49,000. Connie has been driving free thanks to Mary Kay for over 20 years. That's 20 years you guys have no car payments, saving her family a tremendous amount of money in car and insurance payments. Connie promoted herself to independent sales director in December of 2001. She and her unit have completed 14 Circle of Achievements and one time in the Circle of Excellence in the $800,000 unit club. And we call that the prestige level in Mary Kay. Mary Kay has given Connie 4 1-carat diamond bar pins for those achievements, 3 3.5-carat diamond rings, and a 20-carat diamond citrine ring set in 14-karat gold surrounded by diamonds. And mine dropped on the floor and went to 1,000 pieces. And it was one of my very favorite rings. I'm just sick about it. Okay, she is very proud to have, now this is what impresses me the most, okay? She is proud to have 4 first-line sales directors, 2 second-line sales director offspring, 2 third-line offsprings, a 4th, and also a 5th-line offspring director. So her team is not only deep, but they're wide, and they are just really building. I saw a picture of like her future national area, and I thought, are these people she cut out of a magazine? Because honestly, they are the most beautiful looking women as well. And I'm sure they're beautiful on the inside. Mm-hmm. All of that represents almost 600 consultants in the Miller Time. That's the name of her national area, future national area. Her goal is to complete the Miller Time national area qualifications by March 2021. So just in a few months. Connie's highest check for 1 month was over $13,800. Her highest honor and highlights of her career was being named twice a monthly Go Give winner, and then also being named the 2007 Pearl Seminar Annual Miss Go Give, which is the highest honor anyone can receive in Mary Kay. And it is so deserving of Connie, for sure. Connie and her unit are linked arm in arm as they not only work to complete the building of their national area, but also completed their first ever Miller Time $1 million year. They are changing lives one face at a time and one heart at a time as they share our amazing products and unparalleled career opportunity. She and her husband, Dan, have been married for almost 22 years, and they have 2 girls, Alexandria, who's 12, and Nina, who just turned 11. Mm-hmm. Please welcome from Kissimmee, Florida, future Executive Senior Sales Director, Connie Miller. Woo! So let me tell you how I know Connie. Many of you have heard me talk about just one of my besties, Deborah Bishop, who is a sales director, and she lived in Kissimmee as well. And she always used to talk about Connie Miller, and she'd say, "My friend Connie Miller," and she never said just Connie, or she'd always say, "My friend Connie Miller," first name and last name. And she goes, "Oh, you're gonna love Connie Miller." And so finally, I got to meet Connie backstage. She and I were one of the top three in Orlando at Career Conference. And after she spoke, I'm like, no wonder Deborah was right. I do love Connie Miller because her speech was amazing. She has a heart of gold, and many of you that are in my unit and some of my Ospreys unit, we went and did a January Jumpstart with Connie Miller at their church is where they meet a couple of years ago, which was fantastic. So Connie, thank you for just giving us your time tonight. I know you got lots to do and big goals. So we are all looking forward to hearing from you right now. So I'm just going to let her take it away. And I asked her to share just anything that Connie wanted to talk about because she is on a roll and we all want to be on a roll with her, right? So you can just take it away, Connie. Thank you for giving us your time tonight.
Well, Cleta the cheetah, amazing, beautiful, successful. I'm just going to go ahead and throw in there sexy. The whole package. Cleta, I've admired you from afar before I knew that Deborah and you were BFFs, and then to have the connection through Deborah was just is so special. Not was, but is so special, and it is an honor for me to be here to share with you and your future national area, Cleta. And for those of you who are in her future national area, I was on a new director's debut yesterday. And Natalie Prevette-Jones said something, and it has been ringing in my heart since she said it. She said, the company is screaming for nationals. Mm-hmm. And so when she said, as a national sales director, for her to say that, y'all, I'm sure those of you in Cleta's future national area knows the company needs Cleta as a national sales director. And so there are pillars. Those are those of us who've been trained by Mary Kay, and we love Mary Kay. We bleed pink, and this is who we are. Our roots go deep, and Cleta is a sister to me in that way. And so Cleta, we can't wait for you to be a national sales director because our company needs you in that position. And so you represent fun and success and creativity and cheetah and sexiness and the whole thing. And so anyway, it is a joy for me to be here, and thank you again for asking me to do it. Typically at 8 o'clock on Sunday night, I'm already snuggled up in bed. I'm already snuggled up, put the kids down at 8, we're in bed too. And but doing this is so exciting. I mean, I put pink lipstick on, I put some tassel earrings on. It is Sunday night and we are ready for this week. We are ready. And it is a big week ahead of us. And so like Cleta said, she asked me to share what's working for myself and my unit in my future national area. And I am very humbled and excited and fired up to tell you that our unit is amazing and our future national area is amazing. And I'll tell you a little bit about the deep directors a little later. But my heart is that Miller Time would be known for the way we love people, the way we represent Mary Kay, the excellence in which we work, and the way that we believe in people. And that is what is happening. And so it's just, we want to be a light in the world, especially today. Yes. Especially today. So I'm going to share with you just so that you know where I'm coming from and why I'm sharing with you. For those of you that I don't know that are on here, by the way, I see Miller Time who are on here. It's so great to see you, Miller Time. But I'd love to know, for those of you that I don't know, if you would just share with me your rank and how long you've been at Mary Kay, because I feel like I've got a message for you. Just looking at your pictures, I felt like something I should be saying. And so I just want to see again, your title and how long you've been in Mary Kay. So I'm gonna tell you real quick where I come from and how I got here. And then I'm gonna go into some questions for you that you're not going to answer, but these are just introspective questions. And I'm going to tell you what Miller Time is doing and what Miller Time is crushing right now, thankfully, and I'm very excited about. So my first recollection, I'm going to give you the very short version of it. My first memory of Mary Kay Cosmetics is when my mom came home from it. She went to an event with her best friend. Her best friend was not in corporate America. My mom was in corporate America. She was a beast. Thank y'all for your answer, for your what you're writing there. My mom was a beast in corporate America. She worked her way up to account executive in the late 70s and early 80s. She was making just over $40,000 a year. In the late 70s and early 80s, that was good money for a woman.
Mhm.
She was overworked. She was overstressed. She was underpaid for the amount of hours she was working in the communications field. And my daddy did not like that she was working around a lot of men, to be perfectly honest with you. And so mom's best friend joined Mary Kay. Hello, Connie Bush. I love your name, Connie Bush. And so so my mom's best friend joined Mary Kay. My mom's best friend was kind of like happy all the time anyway. She was just kind of happy. Marguerite was happy all the time. She's so happy. And so my mom was business. She needed to make money. They just built their dream home. She had a 12-year-old who was going into rebellion, and then she had a 1-year-old. My mom was business. And so Marguerite kept asking mom if she would try Mary Kay. My mom said, no, I love Elizabeth Arden. No, I don't want to try Mary Kay. No. And I'll never peddle pink jars. And Marguerite said, oh, okay, well, at least try it. My mom kept saying, no. One Saturday morning, the only day of the week for my mom to sleep in, Marguerite called my mom Saturday morning early. And she said, hey, Jean, we're having a career brunch. Would you be my guest? Early in the morning. My mom said, no, I'm sleeping. Don't call me again, Marguerite. Now they're best friends, like sisters. Okay. So she hung up, and then Marguerite called her again. Phone rang again. My mom picked it up by her bed. She said, hello. Marguerite said, please come with me. It's a career brunch. I need to have one guest. I just need to have one guest. Please do this for me. It's so important. I'm going to get a gift if you have one. If I have one guest. Mom said, don't call me again. I'm not going. I have no interest, Marguerite. I'm happy for you. I'm not interested. Hang up the phone. A few minutes went by. Marguerite called again. Now it's dark in my parents' bedroom. Obviously, it's early. Marguerite is doing her best to get a guest. And so she picked up the phone. She said, Marguerite, she said, don't call me again. Really. She said, this is it. Don't call me again. I'm not doing it. Marguerite said, Jeannie. Mom hung up on her. And so then a few minutes went by, a few longer minutes, and then the phone rang again. Mom said, she answered the phone. She said, Marguerite. And Marguerite said, Jeannie, just wait a second. She said, I want to tell you something. I think I've made a mistake. In joining Mary Kay. Would you come help me get out of it? My mom said, I'll be right there. My mom jumped out of bed, put on polyester pants, polyester shirt. Now she was a businesswoman in suits every day, but she put on polyester pants, This is 1980, for those of you who don't know what polyester is. Okay, so, and then the Rick Rack shirt, she went and got a big gulp, big 7-Up, big gulp, and flip-flops. And that's how my mom, corporate America, went to that Mary Kay career brunch. You'd never judge a book on its cover. Never. Because my mom went there to make sure that when they looked at her, they didn't want anything to do with mom. That's how my mom went to a Mary Kay event. Make a long story short, she tried the product, fell in love with it, sat with Marguerite's director, who is now National Sales Director Emeritus, Wilda DeCallaghan. Wilda explained to mom how they made money, and mom joined Mary Kay. And once she made the decision, took several hours for her to make that decision, of course, because she was so against it and she was so corporate minded. But Wilda explained to her short-term sacrifice for long-term gain and grow in a business. She was pouring so many hours into South Central Bell and to helping oil companies in South Louisiana develop communication systems that would make so much more money for the oil field companies back then in South Louisiana, which is where I'm from. And Wilda explained to her how you could buy for $1 and sell for $2 and work it when you want to. So my mom, she joined Mary Kay and she dove all in. She started with a Ruby Star order. And my mom, again, like I said, she was overworked, overstressed, all of that. She would come home tired, but she had a goal. And the goal was to maybe make enough money so she could work from home like Wilda was. Because she wasn't attracted to what Marguerite was doing. She was attracted to what Wilda was doing, which was making over $100 a year, working from home, pink Cadillac in the driveway. She had a daughter my age. I was 12. She had a daughter my little sister's age who was 1. She was in daycare, which was killing my mom to put her in daycare, and she was pregnant. And my mom related to Wilda. For the first 18 months, my mom worked her full-time career job, and she won 3 free cars while working her full-time job. She didn't leave her job when she won her first car. She wanted to max out Mary Kay, and she wanted to max out what she was doing in corporate America. She would come home from work and she would be so tired. And after picking up Natalie, my little sister, but she knew that she would have to get on the date book or coach her hostess or follow up with her customers. This is way before cell phones, y'all. And so you remember the long cords in the kitchen? So the kitchen telephone cord, you know, she would take the kitchen phone, stretch it all the way in into the dining room. She would do jumping jacks before she had her Diet Dr. Pepper, still has her Diet Dr. Pepper these days, had her Diet Dr. Pepper Big Gulp, would do about 10 or 20 jumping jacks to get her voice to where she sounded excited, because if she didn't sound like this, no one's going to book with you when you sound tired or desperate. They're not going to book with you. And she knew that. So she had a mirror in her dining room. She did jumping jacks. She sat down. She had more energy when she got on the phone. They thought she was crazy whenever these women that she was connecting with. And she had 2 money bags always. And I remember she could never zip those 2 money bags. They were always full of mad cash and mad checks. And so the lesson in that for me you know, now I'm celebrating 30 years in Mary Kay. No matter how tired we are, we still work when we have a goal. And that's what my mom did. So I moved away from home. My mom was winning pink Cadillacs. She finally left corporate America. She was winning pink Cadillacs every 2 years. A transformation happened with my mom. She turned from corporate snob to a really positive, happy, feminine, banking woman. They decided to have more kids. The third child that she had, all of those kids, the second 2 kids have been brought home in pink Cadillacs. But one of them is now a sales director, offspring sales director, which I'm honored to have, my little sister, Cherie Thibodeau, in Lafayette, Louisiana. And all she knows is my mom and Mary Kay. And so I moved away from Louisiana, moved to Fort Lauderdale to do my own thing. And when I was 23, after being in Fort Lauderdale for 4 years and working in a restaurant full-time and a hotel part-time, I realized that it's really hard to make it working in a restaurant full-time and working in a hotel part-time. I didn't want to finish my degree in college. I didn't want to start ground floor in a cubicle working my way up, because I was making more money waiting tables and bartending than some of my girlfriends were who were graduating college. It just didn't make sense to me to go back to college. And so I decided reluctantly to start my business with Mary Kay. And my mom said, she said several things to me. I was in Fort Lauderdale. She was in Louisiana. There was no family I could talk to about Mary Kay, because my mom had been in Mary Kay 10 years. She had touched everybody. Everybody was already using Mary Kay. So that was not an option for me. I had 4 girlfriends that I worked with in Bennigan's who didn't tease me too much. It was kind of funny that I joined Mary Kay because we were all cool. We were all tan. We didn't have a lot of body fat. We were in shape. We played paddleball on the beach a lot. We were cute. We were broker than broke. And when all my friends in Bennigan's in the hotel started teasing me about joining Mary Kay, and because there weren't a lot of young people, right, Cleta, back then, who were like doing Mary Kay back then.
Yeah. I was the youngest in my unit.
Isn't that something? And so they just didn't understand how someone in their 20s would be doing Mary Kay. And they would tease me. And I would say to them when I had the courage to speak up, because it took me a long time to have courage to say something. But I was saying, but we're the broke ones. Like, we're broke. My mom's driving a pink Cadillac, earning 6 figures. We're broke. And you're teasing my mom and me for joining Mary Kay. So, but anyway, my mom said, never miss a meeting. Build your customer base to over 100 customers, skincare customers, and get to 13% quickly and stay there. Never fall below 13%. Now that hasn't changed all these years. So 13% is when you have 5 or more team members ordering in a month, and you do 600 wholesale or more. That's still the same for 30 years. It's been the same. And so that's what I kept my eye on. I never missed a meeting. Got to 100 skincare customers, kept trucking past that, and then got to 13%. I didn't do it overnight. It took me a while to do it because I was so insecure and afraid of people, and really afraid to tell people that I was in Mary Kay. And so for the first 10 years, I worked my business around my other jobs, and worked 15 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Just kind of, I wasn't too serious about it until my adopted director, who I met her after a year. I was in Mary Kay, Pamela Waldrop Shaw. I walked into her unit meeting. Now, I've been in Mary Kay a year. I was adopted by someone else, but I couldn't attend her meetings anymore because of scheduling conflict. So my mom said, there's a younger director in Fort Lauderdale. She just did $500,000. Her name is Pamela Waldrop something. Do you want to go check her out? I said, I'll go check her out. I walked into her unit meeting. There was over 100 people in that unit meeting. And so the music was rocking. They had a boom box. I don't know that boom box could have gone any louder, but even with that boom box, that bass was pumping. And what I saw was a successful woman who was others focused, who was feminine, who was powerful, who was crazy positive, who always put the spotlight on other people, who is sharper than sharp, and whose husband could not take his eyes off of her. Jerry Shaw adored her. I saw all that and I was like, that's my future. That's who I want to be. Praise God, I walked into that unit meeting. And so hitched my wagon to Pam Shaw, still hitched to Pam Shaw. So to go in line with what my mom said, never miss a meeting. When we had we met at a Marriott across the street from the Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport, and I was making some very unhealthy decisions across the board. Even after I joined Mary Kay, I still had so much growing up to do, but I knew that I had to go to every meeting. So I want to applaud those of you who are choosing to watch this or be here live with us. Mm-hmm. It's the meetings that you don't want to go to, and in this case, since mid-March, that you don't want to turn on the camera for or turn on your computer for. It's those meetings when you're like, ugh. again. It's those meetings where the Lord has something for you. Mm-hmm. Because I would very often be driving to the meeting crying because a guy said something to me, or or a bill collector was calling me or whatever, and crying on the way to the meeting, get into the parking lot, dry up my face, fix my foundation, put on lipstick, get out of that car that I was paying way too much money for because I was a poser, paying way too much money for my car, and then put my red jacket on that I was wrinkled up in the back seat. I didn't care. Put it on. Walked into the meeting and no one ever knew that I had so much drama going on that I walked away from. Because here's the thing about drama. One or two things happens. When you leave drama at the car or when the camera's on, it's still there when you turn off the camera, but you're different. Mm-hmm. You're different. And when you can go back to it in a different way where your cup is full and you remember why you started your business and why you plugged in. It's so easy to fall into giving up. It's so easy. But when you know that you're called, it's not an option. It's not an option to give up. So I was affectionately called a dead red for 9 years. Got into red quickly and then stayed in red for 9 years. For 9 years, I was a red jacket. I wore a red jacket for 9 years. I bought 3 red jackets. You're only supposed to win one from the company, maybe buy one, depending on when you earn your red jacket. And so I had 3. You're not supposed to have 3. It's called a career path, not a career stop. And so I was in red. Did I tell y'all 9 years? I just want to make sure y'all heard 9 years. I was in red jacket for 9 years. And I only bought new red jackets because the armpits would rip out because of weight gain, weight loss, weight gain, weight loss, weight gain, weight loss, and that whole cha-cha. And so 2001, I went to seminar. Didn't want to go to seminar. I was dead red. I was chunky, it was a little fluffy. It was just a red, just a red, and walked into Mary Kay Expo. And saw she was either a brand new national or she was about to be a national, Kathy Goff Brummett. Mm-hmm. I think she was Kathy Goff then, or maybe she's already Brummett, but I saw her. We were sister consultants together. I saw her at the Mary Kay Expo and she was just reeking of love and joy. And again, she was either a new national or about to be a national. And when I saw her, it was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. I was supposed to be there with Kathy. But I'm a dead red. And Kathy did the work. She's doing the work. She's living it. She's being it. And I'm on my 3rd red jacket, like not happy, but I went to seminar. Mm-hmm. I had every reason not to go to seminar. So Kathy was so loving, and I just love every bit of Kathy Goff Brummett. And so said goodbye to her. I said to my best friend when Kathy walked away, this is it. This is it. This is it. This is a line in the sand. Had a great seminar, came home, went to my first women's Bible study. And I heard, I'd never done a women's Bible study before. I didn't know the reason to do a Bible study with women. You remember Bible studies when you used to go and meet people, remember back before March 15th, you know? And so went to a Bible study, and we were doing Breaking Free by Beth Moore. I've done it, right? I've done it a total of 4 times because clearly I keep needing to be broken free of stuff. And I sat down in that room, and there was a lot of women in that room. They put the VHS tape in the TV. I sat right in front of the TV, and I heard the words that changed my life. Beth Moore said, "Delayed obedience is disobedience." Mm-hmm. And when she said those words at the beginning of that Bible study, I said, "Is she talking to me? Like, is this for Connie Miller? Is this what it is?" And so in that Bible study, I couldn't believe those words. And I realized how pig-headed and stubborn and immovable I had been in those 9.5 years in my career. I kept telling the Lord, "I'm not ready, not now, it's not ready. They're not, no one's answering me. Not enough bookings are holding. My team's not doing enough," whatever excuse I could conjure up. And so I came home. Danny happened to be home for lunch, and I said, "Hey, I'm becoming a director." And I'd been telling him that since I met him in 1995. It was 2001. And he said, "Okay." I'm like, "No, I'm becoming a director." He's like, "Okay." I'm like, "I'm becoming a director. You hear me? I'm becoming a director." And he was like, "Okay, all right." I went and laid down on my floor in my office. We had Berber carpet. I went and laid prostrate on my floor. I always like to make sure I get that word right. Prostrate on my floor. And I said, "Lord, please forgive me for being so pig-headed and stubborn. I'm going to do it. I know this is what you've called me to, and I'm just going to do it. I'm going to work, and I'm going to trust you for the results. I'm going to work. I'm going to trust you for the results." That's it. I made a decision. From that decision, I had 3 active people on my team when I got home from seminar. Back then, you had to get to 12 to go into DIQ. So that was in the beginning part of the month. I finished the month with 12 active. The only thing that changed was this. Nothing else changed. Nothing else changed. When I was on the phone with people, because remember, we didn't have cell phones then. And so I had to pick up the phone and call people. There was a new passion in my voice. And really, for not everybody, but no one could say no to me because I was so on fire and so excited and so passionate. I just couldn't take a no. And so I went from dead red in the beginning of August, went into DIQ, and then finished directorship December 1. September 11th happened, and Mary Kay Ash went to heaven during my DIQ. And which, it's not like it was during my DIQ. That's not what I'm trying to say. We had obstacles during DIQ. We had, like, in those who were in that season with me. And it was, God has blessed and multiplied disciplined efforts from going from when I went to seminar, I was going this direction, which was nowhere fast. And then came home, made a decision, passion rose up in me and a fire rose up in me. That's the only thing that changed. I didn't get a new date book. I didn't get a new starter kit. I didn't get a new red jacket. I didn't get new shoes. I didn't get new friends. I worked, I planted my heels in, I changed. I was going this direction, and I came home and started going that direction. Boom, sales director. Boom, Premier Club. Won another Premier Club, and then went into Cadillac from since then. And so the reason why I was asking how long you guys have been in, because I just felt like maybe some of you have been in a day or two. And if you've been in a day or two, it's easy to think that nothing's going to change. And are you ever going to do it? That's the thoughts I had. I remember sitting in Red Jackets classes thinking, this is hard. This is hard. It's hard to watch my friends become sales directors. It was hard. It was hard to watch those sales directors then win pink Cadillacs. It was hard. It's what's hard is staying there. You get to choose your hard. You can dig in and hammer your business, call and texting and voice messaging these days, the way that we're working. And, or you can stay where you are. They're both hard. And so choose your heart. It's like what's foremost on my mind right now is working out, eating right, which is hard, or later down the road, all the surgeries and the medication and the doctor visits that come with that. You get to choose your heart. I get to choose my heart. So anyway, so now we're going to become a national area, and I'm so blessed and honored to lead the Miller Time National Area. So I've got some questions for you, and then I'll open it up to questions. My first question is, what are you reading? Mm-hmm. What are you reading? What are you putting in your brain? Are you reading social media posts? Are you reading about whatever it is, all the stuff that's going on? Are you reading? What are you reading? What is it? What is it that you're reading? Now I'm going to show you something. Maybe Cleta and maybe Misha, and I don't know, someone else might know this. This is the one of the original copies of Mary Kay autobiography. It's now called Miracles Happen. And so you can look how old. Look, I had young kids. You can see like what they did. But this is, if you haven't read this in the past year, I'm going to encourage you to pick this up. Some of you may need to dust it off, but this is something as leaders, and I'm assuming that you are wanting to be a leader, or you would be on a Sunday night call. You'd rather be in pajamas drinking hot cocoa or whatever you're drinking. I don't know. And so, but you're here with us. So the Mary Kay's Miracle Happened. If you haven't read it, this is it. This is it. This is going to serve you better than anything else. And if you've read this, then this is the next one, The Mary Kay Way. Dang, there's some great books. This is my next book that I got from Pam Shaw, The Practice. That's my next book I'm diving into. But listen, those of you who want to be leaders and sales directors, Mary Kay gave us what we need to know. She started this company, and so she knows what to do in how to teach us to grow our business. This is a leadership book, The Mary Kay Way. So this is what's next. This is really, again, there's some great stuff. There's some great stuff. If you want to become a director or national, this is it. There's your money right there. So that's number one. Okay, so what are you reading? Number two goes along with kind of what I just said. Who are you talking to and spending time with? Anytime you have a discouragement, a disappointment, anything where you're feeling blah, one thing you never want to do, which I'm sure you know, it's you never call a sister consultant. Never. You always reach up so that your director, your mentor can help you up. When you reach sideways, you will bring them down. I just did something that I haven't done in years. I just did something. And something happened with family stuff, it's just family stuff. And so I texted my sister and I said, you can't text that, which is probably good. And so, but that, I haven't vented. It's been years since I've quote unquote vented. And so she said, yeah, sure. This is my sister, Cherie, who's, sales director. And so I told her what upset me. And she said, why does that upset you? I'm like, that's not a good question. That's not a good question. I want to talk about it. I want to dig into it. But she was making me look at what was my problem with it, So in just a couple of questions, I was totally cooled off by then. And so my point is, whenever you say to your friends, can I just vent? Whenever you vent, like what I did to my little sister, you're putting all your ick and all your drama on them. You feel better because you unloaded it, but you just gave it to her. Mm-hmm. And so when you vent to your sales director, quote unquote venting, and you're not going to vent to your sales director, this is the healthy way to message your sales director or your mentor. This is how I'm feeling. I would like to, if you would, I would like your guidance on a solution for it. Not this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then that's not healthy. This is how I'm feeling. And so this is, I would like some guidance on what the next step is. So who are you talking to and who are you spending time with? If it's social media, your friends are in social media. You are like the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And if it's Facebook, whatever it is, or Twitter or Instagram, whatever it is, all those people you're scrolling with, that's your 5 most influential people in your life, like it or not. And so who you're spending time with in your circle is so important. So watch who you're spending time with. I'm sure you've heard this, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you again. If you make a list of the 5 people you spend the most time with, next to their names, put a plus or negative next to each one of their names. If they are positive, and positive means not that she's positive, but it's when you leave her, you feel better. You feel like more uplifted. And a negative is when you leave that person, you feel like heavier, and there's no neutrals. And so if there's like, you're the same when you're with them, that's a negative. And so if you have more negatives next to your five, out of your five names, then chances are you're negative. And if you have more, excuse me, the problem with negative people, they don't know they're negative usually. And so, so watch who you spend time with. And so you've got to, if you don't know how to dance, I call it a dance, like dance in a way that you can be around more positive people and get away from people who are sucking you dry with your energy. Because you got to stay away. You got to protect your house. You got to do like Under Armour and protect this house. That's what you've got to do. And so who are you hanging out with? Number 3, are you showing up? The answer is yes. Whatever Cleta does or whatever your director does, you show up. Now in virtual life, since March, since we've been doing this, I don't mean everything that we schedule, right, Cleta? Like, because we have color things, we've got skincare things, we've got leadership things, and then we have our meeting. I don't mean to show up to everything like that. I do mean show up to your weekly meeting. And then if you're wanting to sell product, then of course you go to those kind of things, and you participate with your director and your partner with her. So showing up, this is not y'all because y'all are here. Number 4, always work to be your best. So we're about to close up the star quarter. And so what star were you last quarter? And so would you consider being a higher star than you were last quarter? And if it's not a higher star, then if it's not a higher star, then maybe it's having more star points. And if for any reason any of you watching don't want to be a star, well, how much have you done this quarter? Do you have 600 in for the quarter? Do you have 900 in for the quarter? Like what Cleta said, though, even consultants who don't have Jack in, they're still going to be a star by Tuesday, because it doesn't matter how much you have to go. What matters is, are you willing to do the work to do it? Because you totally can do it. It's so easy. I just got a text from one of my adoptees, and she said, "I'm so excited. I just got an order for 20 sets of hand creams, hand sanitizers, and soaps." Just like that. So, I mean, it can change like that. So anyway, always work to be your best. So we're going to finish the year, y'all. The end of December, the end of 2020 is around the corner. Did y'all see the meme that said, today marks 5 years we've been in 2020. So 2020 is ending. Like, it's ending, yeah, right? And so even though it's been so crazy, how have you grown? What have you done with this year? What have you done with this additional time at home and new opportunities and new thoughts? And what have you done different? How are you growing? How are you going to finish December 31st different than you did November 30th? What are you going to do different this month? Complacency is not okay for the leader. And complacency comes when you get to second or third week of the month and you're like, oh, next month's looking pretty good. No. We have so much time, whatever time of the month it is, for you to make your goals happen and to increase whatever way you want to increase in sales, in wholesale, in new agreements, in team production. Always have a growth mindset. Do you know that when trees stop growing, they die? You know, when plants stop growing, they die. Do you know that as humans, when we stop growing, we start dying? And so don't let that happen to your business. Always be in a growth mode. Number 5, do you do your 5 most important things to do list? Very simple stuff, but it's just, I wanted to give you basic things tonight without giving you a whole lot of ideas. And so basic stuff. Do you do your 5 most important things to do list so that when you wake up, boom, you are clear on what to do with your business in your personal, your life. And then another simple one, number 6, your weekly plan sheet. It's Sunday night. So your weekly plan sheet for next week should already be up on the refrigerator, highlighted for your family to see. Danny and I do ours on a Google Share calendar so we can see what each of us does. He knows when to have appointments. He knows when the buffer time zones are. He knows it's so easy now because we do most everything from home. And so we do ours together because our daughters are now 11 and 12. And so they have stuff too. And so your weekly plan sheet is your boss babes.
That's right.
Your weekly plan sheet is your boss, because it's so easy on Saturday or Sunday when you're filling out your weekly plan sheet and you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the week. I'm going to do this time zone for calls, this time for follow-up, this time for sales, and your confidence is high, right? And so it's so pretty and it's highlighted and you put it on the refrigerator. You put it on your refrigerator so that if you have, family members, especially your kids, when they see grocery store, they're not asking you for food before you go to the grocery store on Thursday. Or you can now Instacart it, which is a whole different story. So don't let them Instacart without your approval, though. Another lesson learned. Okay. And so so it's so easy to have the courage when it's, you can't call people or text people, which you can do now. You can text and message people now anytime with the way it is. But meaning your weekly plan sheet is your boss, because at Monday at 6 o'clock, when you wrote down that you were going to be on the phone at 6 o'clock, you don't go to the refrigerator to look for potato chips or you don't get hungry. You don't go do the laundry. You sit your tush down wherever you are and you do what you said that you were going to do. Your weekly plan sheet is vital. So let me tell you real quick what the unit is doing right now that is, and you probably know about it, but it's just what Pam Shaw has encouraged us to do. We spent a lot of time talking about it. We spent a lot of energy getting into it. And the ones who are doing it are having growth and sales, and they're on the date book in a serious way. And it's just a mental bath. It's something so simple, a mental bath. It's every day. It's 6 or 7 days out of the week, taking a mental bath. The bath is an acronym. Every day, getting at least one booking. Every day, saying your affirmations. Every day, listening to a Mary Kay training of some kind, not a Voxer message, not not an update from your director, but a training message. And there's the Mary Kay mobile learning app that you can do. There's YouTube. If you just Google any of the Inner Circle National Sales Directors or anyone that you like, and you listen to them. So a Mary Kay training. And then the H is saying hello to your director. So a mental bath. Doing that 6 or 7 days in a week, but doing 21 days in a row. And there are stats. I can send it to Cleta. I can send her the cleansing sheet, not the cleansing sheet, the tracking sheet that shows if you did that sheet, the tracking sheet, if you filled it up, if you did however many times you filled it up, there's an equation for Tammy Craig. This is her brainchild. She's been doing this forever. And if you, depending on how many sheets and how long you took to do it, you would be a team leader in this time. You would be a director in this time. You would be in a Cadillac in this time. And so it is, Mary Kay's not magical, it's mathematical. And when you take the emotion out of phone calls and people's responses and what people think of you and why aren't people calling you back and why aren't they posting or what, when you take the emotion out of the business, you will soar. You will soar because it's nobody else's business. It's your business. The people around you, they don't have a goal to be into a red jacket or a car or a pink Cadillac. It's not their goal. It's your goal. You're the one who's driving the dream. And so so mental bath, I'll send you the tracking sheet that we're using, Cleta. It is awesome. It is awesome. And so hope some of that was beneficial. And so what questions do y'all have?
Connie, thank you so much. And we have here, I'm gonna join you up here. Hang on just a minute. Hi. So we're together.
Hi.
So, you know what? We've heard about the mental bath, but here's the thing: we have not talked about that in a while. Mm-hmm. And so you know how you get these ideas, and then you do them a while, and then you stop. So thank you for bringing that back up. And for those of you that are on YouTube, I know you're already going to message me and say, where's the sheet? I will put it in the description on YouTube. And for our boss babes, I'll put in the Voxer group afterwards. So if you'll send me, I've got an old one, but send me what you got.
So good.
That will be so great. I love every single thing that you talked about because it's really just core Mary Kay. It's just core Mary Kay. And we think we can just do it different. But honestly, if we'll just go back to what she's talking about, the basics of how Mary Kay said that this is going to, benefit us, then this is how you're going to grow in the company. And that's why, like with Connie and myself and a lot of you that have been in a long time, I mean, we know we're in it for the long haul. And we know when we go back and start doing the things that we already have been trained, we succeed. So what I'd like to do is have you guys can just unmute yourself and you can just ask Connie a question if you like, or if you would like to affirm her, that would be amazing too. Connie, your enthusiasm, I mean, I couldn't tell you no. I don't even know what you want me to do, but I know I could not tell you no.
Listen, can I go back to what you just said? Because it's a great quote from Cody Maldonado. Takes me a minute, but it comes. Takes me a minute. Okay. Did you see it? Did you see the smoke? Okay. Cody Maldonado said at our fall advance, I'm about to hit some people with a sledgehammer with what I'm about to say. Creativity comes when you're trying to avoid the hard work. So we want to like create all these new ways to meet people and create, like all these new ways to do it when it's just go meet people and just be nice and just do what you're already trained to do. And creativity is great. And there's, I'm not knocking creativity, but if you just do what you're trained to do, you don't need all the time to create new things.
So true. Okay, so go ahead, Jan. I think I saw her go ahead, Jan.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, Connie, you're so powerful. You just exude joy, passion, your faith. And by the way, I stalk you on Facebook. So, I mean, I know that you just have such a heart of gold. So
thank you.
And you're totally funny. That makes me happy too.
Thank you, Jana.
You're going to be an amazing NSD. And so thank you for following that call that Mary Kay's screaming for NSDs, because you're going to be a really great one. Thank you so much for pouring into everyone. I just applaud the when you were talking about Mary Kay is mathematical. I know that I have some people on here that are wanting to go into DIQ and they're excited about that. And I always that's my deal. I'm an action type of person and not sprinkling fairy dust, but being intentional in your numbers and making sure you're doing so much, because that way your expectations and, things are going to meet up. So anyway, so if you had someone that wanted to earn their red jacket this month, have 6 by the next month, but they want to go into DIQ by March 1, what would your suggestion be?
Okay, my first suggestion would be a question. And so I would say to her, if she was in my unit, she wanted to be in DIQ March 1, I would say, why March 1? So because you're just putting off the money you're making. You're just putting it off. Because every month you're not a director, somebody else is getting that money. And so somebody else is getting paid. So if you want to get paid and have the influence, I'm just curious why it would be March 1st. Okay, but once we get past that, okay, so it's the same work, whether someone wants to be in DIQ March 1st, February 1st, or January 1st. And so it's mathematical. Again, taking the emotion out of it. If 1 out of every 4 people join Mary Kay, there's no way around it. If 1 out of every 4 or 5 people join Mary Kay, so 4 out of 5, and if you need, let's say you have 3 active and you need 7 active, so 7 times 4 is 28. I would say 30 interviews. So you can do 30 interviews this month, or you can stretch it out. It's much harder to stretch it out. I haven't had a baby, but those of you who've been in labor, I've heard long labors are awful. And so versus just take the baby out. And so it just seems like it'd be easier to get it done quicker. So that's what I would say. When would it work for you to do 30 interviews? How about we schedule the first 3 today?
All right. That's fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Good answer and good question. Okay, who else? Just unmute yourself, you guys.
Hey, this is Lori, and I just want to say thank you. Just like Jana, thank you so much for sharing and just for speaking into us. And when you said one thing earlier, is something Deborah Bishop had told me before, and it was just like hearing her words again. Delayed obedience is disobedience. So thank you for that reminder. And it was just like a little wink from, or not a wink, but a hit me over the head from Deborah. So.
Yeah. Good. Well, delayed obedient. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. And I love your name. Is it Laurie? I love Laurie. Love it, Laurie. We want first time obedience from our children, and so we're no different when it comes to the Lord. So if he's called us to leadership, or he's called us whatever he's called us to, it would serve us well to, this is the hardest thing to do, but it's just to be obedient when he calls us to do whatever it is. And we're no different. It's the same thing. So thank you for your words, and I love your whole Zoom room with the whole thing that you've got going on there.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Hey Connie, this is Sayla. How are you? You've done an awesome job. I could relate to your 9 years of Red Jacket, but mine happened to be like I was in 19 years before I became a director, and I went to seminar. And it was the year that they took the Red Jackets and divided us into newer Red Jackets and the seasoned Red Jackets. And it was those that had been in a Red Jacket 10 years or more or something like that. And I said, that was like the line in the sand for me. I came back and went into DIQ and I became a director. So, awesome. And what I have found is that, like you said, is just the daily discipline of the simple things. I think, especially in our society today, we think we have to do massive amounts of work, and for years I was a big Zoom eater, but now I did a physical challenge where you do these 5 little things every day for 75 days. And I found that by far, if you can just do a little bit each day consistently, like you said, what are you reading? Who are you surrounded? Not big, what we would consider big things, just smaller things each and every day. It kind of compounds. And so thank you so much for all those reminders.
Oh my gosh, thank you for your example and all that you do. And you are amazing because I watch you too. You can call it stalk or watch, and so Jana, like what Jana said. So I love it. Thank you for your words. Thank you.
Thank you, Sayla. Okay. Who else would like to say something?
Hi, this is Rosie. I'm in Kansas. I'm Jana Strung's offspring, and I just wanted to thank you. What everybody has already said, but I think one of my favorite parts was when you talked about your mom. I loved the story. I loved, her resistance and how that just, if she hadn't said yes, where would you be right now? And so it just reminds us of how, we think it's our decision, but what we do and what we say, what we decide affects so many people that we don't even know about, from years to come. So anyway, just want to thank you. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you so much, Rosie. Thank you. The ripple effect of our decisions, good or bad, there's a ripple effect. And so thank you.
For sure. Okay, anybody else?
Can y'all hear me?
Yep. Hey, Latrice.
I'm on my phone. I'm on my phone. So, it's the internet. Okay. So first of all, Connie, thank you so much. And, I loved hearing you talk about go back and read Mary Kay's books because, I've been in Mary Kay for 29 years. I had the privilege of being schooled by her and met her several times because our national was Idell Moffat. And so I really, really believe that consultants, that is so important, is for them to go back and read that and really find out who Mary Kay really was, the person. And so thank you for sharing that tonight. And I know you're going to be a great national. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
And Latrice, wasn't your adopted national for a while, Kathy Brummett?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Solid. Rock.
Lake Siacata.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay, ladies. Well, listen, it's almost time's up anyway, but I just have to say, Connie, you breathe fresh life into our call tonight. I thank you so much for coming on here and taking your time out of you building your national area. And you already are a national, you know. The people are already there, and we're gonna be so proud to go to your debut in Kissimmee. And I plan on being right there with you, sister. And you know, we got to join hands and do this thing together. So thank you for leading by example. I've been watching you, and I'm so proud of you. And we need women like you at the forefront of Mary Kay. Godly women that are positive and enthusiastic, and just really, like you say, been trained by Mary Kay. So thank you for what you do. And you know, it's obvious when you got the annual Miss Go Give what everybody in Mary Kay thinks of you. And you guys, if y'all have not seen, you can go to the Mary Kay videos on In Touch, and there are these videos that says what I would tell my younger self. It's probably not exactly the title, something like that, a letter to my younger self. And Connie was one of the ones of all the people in Mary Kay. She was one of the ones that Mary Kay selected to do this cool video, and you need to go back and watch it now, because you know, like after someone speaks on the Boss Babe call, you're like, oh yeah, I know her. And so whether you know her or not, you know her now. She's our bud, right? And so go watch that. It'll mean more to you now that you know who Connie Miller is. Or
can I tell you a funny story about that video?
Yes, go ahead.
Let me tell you the backstory. Okay, the backstory.
Tell me.
Here's the backstory. So we got the message from my girlfriend in Dallas, and she said, we're working on a special project. Would you do it? She goes, I want you to write a letter to your younger self. And I was like, piece of cake. So of course, you know, the night it was due is when I sat down to do it, because sometimes, not all the time, I'm working on it. You know, we're all work in progress. Sometimes, you know, why do today what you can put off until tomorrow? I'm getting past that. I'm growing past that. And so I waited till that night, locked myself in my office, and it took me 3 hours to write this note this letter to myself. It's 3 pages, bawling. I come out bawling. And so I had to send it to, can you imagine writing a letter to yourself? Like if it could actually happen, you know? And so I wrote stuff in there about ex-boyfriends and just like stupid stuff. And so I sent it to she said, write the letter. I wrote the letter. So I sent it to her, and and so we had to read these letters, you know, on camera several times for them to get the angles and the lighting and all that stuff. And so I was so worried that they were going to take the stuff about the ex-boyfriends and don't get caught up in ex-boyfriends, and and they didn't play any of it. And I was so grateful. And so it was just so funny. So they cut so much out of our letters, but we had to pour out, all of us who did it, we had to pour out our hearts and in those letters so that they could grab the pieces they wanted for that. So it's powerful. It
was really, really good. Really good. How many of y'all have seen that? Raise your hand if y'all have seen that. Go back and watch them. Who all else was on there, Connie, with you?
Pam Tull. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Another great story.
I love her.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. So Pam Tull, Lucia Fernandez, sexy Lucia Fernandez. Okay. And then Iban Osazi, amazing. Right. Give me a minute. I'll remember once we get done with this.
It was really great. You guys, so that's one of your assignments this week, for the mental bath. Okay, so part of your training, one of the days is you're going to go to Mary Kay Video Lounge, and you're going to look up Letter to My Former Self. You'll see it on there.
Randy Gleason from Louisiana.
That's right, Randy. Yeah. And I want y'all to watch that video and tell me what you get out of it. And then, maybe you might want to do that this week and just write a letter to your former self, your younger self. What would you tell yourself at maybe, go back to 12 years old and then say, okay, this is some things that are going to happen. Don't do this. And do this, right? So, Connie, we love you. We're praying for the Miller Time unit and the Miller Time area and all your sales directors. And in fact, I think we just should end with a prayer tonight. That's what we're going to do. So, dear Lord God, I just want you to lift up Connie Miller and her Miller Time unit and the Miller Time consultants and all the directors in her line. And Lord, I just pray for a massive awakening in each and every one of them as they are forming this national area, Lord. And we just thank you and praise you that Connie has been faithful to obey the calling that you have given on her, and that she has been willing to share with us. So Lord, we just pray for abundant favor for her and for her whole national area. And Lord, for every single woman or man that is on here listening to this, that is trying to get motivated, get some training, some inspiration, Lord, I just pray that you bless them. I pray that you give them that courage to make that next call and to make the efforts. And Lord, we know that you bless our efforts. We know that. So we know all we have to do is just make it. So Lord, help us just to just get rid of that tool of the devil, that procrastination and discouragement, Lord, and that we just really work and live in it for excellence in our business. And Lord, we just give you all the praise and glory for every single thing we have and all the things that we do. And we just ask you to be with us this week, keep us healthy and safe. And we just honor you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, ladies. Well, we got a lot of YouTubers. You guys, thank you all for watching live on YouTube. And I'm going to end that part